At least 62 dead in catastrophic Spain flash floods and fears dam may burst as vids show Valencia roads turned into rapids. At least 62 people are dead after catastrophic flash floods hit Spain, turning roads into rapids and stoking fears that a dam could burst. Rescuers are desperately trying to find survivors after the torrential downpours left areas, including popular Brit holiday resorts, underwater. The flooding caused havoc, running from the provinces of Malaga in the south to Valencia in the east. Tragically, a baby was listed as one of the 62 confirmed dead by officials on Wednesday morning. Dozens more are missing and feared dead after flood water which first hit around 1 p.m. Tuesday caused rivers to burst their banks, entered homes, and swamped cars. The president of the Valencia region Carlos Mazin said, "There are bodies and bodies continuing to appear in places we hadn't been able to access before." In one small area on the outskirts of Valencia city, 40 people are either dead or missing, police sources have said. Chiva, a town near Valencia, was pummeled by more than a year's worth of rain in just 8 hours. Officials have said it is impossible to put a definite number on the amount of people killed. There are fears the Sirat Valet Dam, in Castellón, north of Valencia, could burst with officials putting out a warning after they couldn't open the gates. The nearby town of Villarreal has activated its emergency protocol, ordering those with houses near the Majares River to evacuate. Videos shared by Spanish broadcasters showed flood water rising into the lower levels of homes and even carrying cars through the street. Over 1,000 soldiers have been deployed to the affected areas. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez gave an emergency briefing this morning saying, "Our thoughts go out to those whose homes and possessions have been devastated and whose lives have been covered in mud. We are united and we will rebuild your streets and your squares and bridges. Spain will be with you." He sent his condolences to those who lost loved ones in the flood but warned that the devastating event might not be over yet as forecasters predict more storms tomorrow. Devastation on the ground. In Massanassa, on Valencia's outskirts, a man died after getting trapped in a lift as he made his way to a flooded underground car park beneath his apartment to check on his vehicle. Around 600 people were trapped in the Bonaire Mall, Valencia's largest shopping center last night, after ground floor flooding. Drivers posted videos showing the horrific conditions on the roads, with many abandoning their vehicles as the water rose. A taxi driver called Paco was hit by a wall of water with brutal force while driving on the outskirts of Valencia city. He said, "We were heading along a road leading to the CV36 motorway and as we got to a roundabout before we reached it, we saw people warning us to turn round. We turned back but in a question of seconds a massive amount of water appeared. It was impossible to get out of the car. A torrent of water smashed my taxi against barriers at the side of the road and I couldn't move. We spent 3 hours on top of the lorry trailer before the water levels started to descend and we could reach safety." Emergency services workers backed by drones were looking through buildings as they sought to find trapped residents. In some places, rescue services used helicopters to lift people from houses and cars to safety. The entire province of Valencia, which has a resident population of nearly 5.5 million, were told they should avoid any travel yesterday evening with emergency mobile warnings. Meanwhile, Leter's Mayor Sergio Marin described the situation as catastrophic as firefighters and police on the ground and in a helicopter searched for 4 people said to be unaccounted for. Marin told Spanish TV, "We couldn't have predicted anything like this was going to happen. It's a major catastrophe. Other locals haven't been able to reach loved ones." One woman told the Lowly television program that she hadn't spoke to her 25-year-old son since 10 p.m. last night. She said, "He sent me a photo of water entering his car and everything flooded. I just want him to phone me or his dad or his girlfriend and say, 'I'm okay.' He's only 25, he's got his whole life ahead of him." Ricardo Gabaldon, mayor of Utiel, a town in Valencia, told national broadcaster RTVE people in his town were trapped like rats. He said, cars and trash containers were flowing down the streets. The water was rising to 3 meters. Schools, sports events, and other public facilities like parks were all closed on Wednesday. The adverse weather is amongst some of the most extreme the country has faced in recent years. Flights were delayed and diverted from Valencia Airport at first, with it eventually being closed late last night. Elsewhere, in the Spanish city of Almería, cars have been destroyed by giant golf ball-sized hailstones that fell from the sky as a violent storm passed over last night. Spain's King Felipe and Queen Letizia said they were devastated by the flooding. They said, strength, courage, and all the necessary support for all those affected. Our warmest message and recognition to local and regional authorities and all emergency services, armed forces and state security forces and corps for the titanic work they have been doing from the very beginning.